Hi everyone and welcome to the Baby Sleep Magic podcast. My name is Chantal Murphy and today's episode is some information in regards to night feeding. So if you do find this information valuable, please feel free to share it with a friend or another mum. So in saying that, whilst it's completely normal for your baby or newborn to wake up every couple of hours through the night, what we do want to try and do is to differentiate the difference between night and day. So I'm just going to give you some tips moving forward on what to do in the event that your little one wakes through the night and you do have to offer a feed. So my number one tip would be try to, if you can, keep your baby awake through the feed. This won't only help to make the feed more efficient, but it'll also get them to start to encourage some self-soothing as well. So ideally you want to, keep them awake, interact with them a little bit without tickling them or waking them up too much, but try not to allow them to fall asleep on the breast or even the bottle, because you do ideally want them to feed well in that feed as well, so you're not waking up for no reason. Keep it dark. You really want to keep that room dark, or at least dim the lights as much as you can. Only use as much light as you need to ensure that you can get around and be safe. And this really does help keep the melatonin levels high, which is the sleepy hormone that we have as humans that keeps us and allows us to go back to sleep relatively quickly after being woken up. So darkness is essential and is definitely going to help. Try not to interact with your little one too much. Try to avoid eye contact as much as possible and keep the stimulation and everything to a low as much as you can, because this again will help your little one drift back off to sleep easier if there hasn't been too much interaction or stimulation whilst feeding through the night. And don't feed unless absolutely necessary. Babies and newborns in particular are very noisy, and during the night they can often be quite grunty and noisy and loud. And so don't just bounce up every single time you hear your little one stir and quickly go and offer the feed. In some cases they're just having a bit of a stretch and having a bit of a grunt and a groan. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're hungry and they need to be fed. So look, unless it's around about the 3 or if not 4 hours apart, ideally they don't need to generally be fed. So if you can try and string it out to 3.5 to 4 hours, that would be perfect. If you are bottle feeding, be organised. Ideally at 1, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, you don't want to be whipping into the kitchen to heat up bottles, sterilise bottles, heating milk, finding formula. Have everything you need even in the bedroom on a tray or in the ensuite if you've got one, but have everything organised. So as soon as Bub wakes and it is feed time, you can, within a few seconds, you can whip something up and it's all there. It's all at your fingertips. And if need be, look, for babies under the age of 7 or 8 weeks of age, nappy change, you probably will need to still offer a nappy change. So you might want to do that in between feeds. So offer one half of the breast first and then do the nappy change, or half of the bottle followed by burping and the nappy change, rather than doing it at the end where you might need to, stir them or wake them up a fair bit in that process. So hopefully these tips help you guys moving forward when it does come to night feed. For further information and advice on anything to do with baby and toddler, head over to my Instagram page, check out my highlights. That has some info on there when it comes to, videos for dark room, white noise, cat naps, self-settling, and plenty more. So hopefully these help, and I'll talk to you next week.